Welcome to Big Fly Multimedia. It is Sunday, oh boy, September 13th, I guess. Going to talk a little bit about my experiences with switching to Ubuntu1404 Linux on my laptop. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I first installed it, and I've gone through the process of exploring some applications. So let's talk about some applications that I found that I use. I am a graphic artist by trade, so I really wanted to experience what there was on the Linux platform for the graphics applications and photography applications and video editing applications that, I would use on my day-to-day tasks at work. So we'll start out. What I've got up here is Inkscape. This is a vector graphics editing program. Drawing program, essentially. I work in Adobe Illustrator for vector graphic editing. So Inkscape is pretty much the no-brainer go-to choice for vector graphics editing. You can see it's, pretty basic stuff. It just works. It works pretty good. It is functionally very different than Illustrator in what you need to do to get your tasks done, and I'll be honest, I haven't taken much time to learn how to use this application, but just the basic stuff, setting type, drawing shapes, creating boxes and circles and stuff like that. It's straightforward. Editing the colors of objects is really simple. You can pretty much tweak them to your liking, really easy. One other thing that I've found that I really liked is the workspace switcher. There are key commands for that. So you can see here I can have actually multiple applications open, all in different windows, full screen, and just switch from one to the other really easy. So let's talk a little bit about photo editing. My choice for photo editing, from what I've found, the best possible option right now for me was Darktable. This is very, I guess, similar to Lightroom. Again, haven't had a whole ton of time to play with this, but it seems like it's going to work fine for photo editing. In fact, they have an option for tethering your camera to the software, and then you can use the software to interactively control your camera. I did a little test with my Canon Rebel XSI or 450D, and I took a bunch of shots with that when we were up north Labor Day weekend. And as you can see here, this is actually pretty neat. I can select a set of bracketed photos that are all shot at different exposures, and you can use this little feature here to create an HDR right in the software. It creates a new file for you, and to be honest with you, it does a pretty good job. It's probably a little overexposed, but you can do all those adjustments in here like you would in Lightroom. My initial thoughts on this Darktable software is I'm very impressed with what you can do with it. It just seems to work. The tethering with the 450D allowed me to capture still images. I haven't hooked up my 7D to it yet to see if it will actually allow me to capture video. I don't think it will, but I could be wrong. I'll spend more time with that. As far as direct photo editing, GIMP was really the obvious choice. I haven't looked at a whole bunch of other photo editing applications, but I mean, this is just, it just works. I mean, you can do your standard cropping and editing and stuff, and it seems like it's going to be pretty decent. Work in layers. I work in Adobe Photoshop professionally. Again, I don't know how much time I'll put in with this, but it's definitely going to be entertaining. If I'm sitting in an airport waiting for a flight, I'll definitely have my laptop and be using this to do stuff. Do cool, simple, cool stuff. Multiple layers. You can set layers to different modes just like you can in Photoshop. It looks like it's going to be a really great photo editing application. Again, functionality is very different as far as working in the tools than it is in Photoshop, so there'll be a little bit of a learning curve there. And then the last application, and this one I really dig, is the Kdenlive video editing software. And this works, it's worked for me so far super good. You can add your transitions, you get effects controls on what your effects that you're applying do. All you got to do is mouse over and a little arrow come, you can right click that, add an effect, and there's just a huge list of effects that you can add to your videos, and it just works. This has been a little crashy. It's crashed on me a couple of times, but you know, what application doesn't? Adobe Premiere crashes on me too. One thing I did notice while I was messing around with this, looking at this video, and this is the bald-faced hornet video that I put out last week. I edited in Kdenlive, and this is the actual edit file. I noticed here that down in the video on the screen there, I think that Queen Hornet is right there at the entrance of the Hornet hive. It's just like a Goodyear blimp compared to the other ones. You see her moving around there. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so far my experience with Ubuntu has been very positive. Everything is working well. The OS hasn't given me any troubles, no crashing. Hardware, everything's been working good except one thing. This laptop has the ability, there's a button on the laptop to shut the trackpad off, and that does not function. Not a big deal, but it can be annoying when you're typing if you bump the trackpad and it seems to want to move the cursor off of where you're typing. Other than that, all the hardware that I've used with it, my Logitech webcam just plugged in and work. I have this Logitech wireless mouse, plugged that in, no problems, just worked. Pretty good experience. I'm going to keep going with this. I'll do videos periodically. For the applications that I've chosen to use for doing graphic arts work, photography and videography stuff, I'll put some links in the description below. If you can take the time and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that's really going to help inspire me to do more of this. Also like the videos and share them with your friends if you could. Alright you guys, thanks for watching and take care.